Hello Medfield, welcome to the newest edition of Medfield People. My guest today is Al Manganello, who many of you probably have seen around town. He lives on Main Street, he's very active in the Legion. But I thought he probably has a lot of good stories to tell about how that family came here to Medfield and how he grew up, and again, his involvement in the service and the Legion itself. So Al, can you tell us a little bit about your growing up?
Oh, I grew up in the North End of Boston. Yeah, we moved to Brookline for a short time. And I came to Medfield, it was in the late 50s, and I hated it because we lived down South Street Extension. It was a big jump for me to go from the North End to Boston.
Oh, you were down
where it's so busy, and we were down by the Norfolk line in South Street. And I asked my parents, what'd you do? Why are we here? So my father worked for Hewlett Packard for 45 years, and they were in Cambridge. Of course, we lived in the North End. You know, we stayed a short time in Brookline. So they got transferred. He got transferred out to Winter Street on 128 in Waltham.
Okay.
Hewlett Packard built a big plant there. So he wanted to come a little more west, and we ended up in Medfield.
Which you'd probably never heard of before.
Never heard of Medfield. And most of you, I don't know, the old timer people would remember Bob Larkin with the cowboy hat. And
I remember Bob Larkin.
We went to see Bob Larkin, and my father built the house down South Street Extension, and that's where we landed.
What number South Street was it?
314.
314.
Right.
Right-hand side or left-hand side?
It'd be the left side of,
As you go
it would be now Wilson Street.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and there were only a couple of houses down to the Norfolk line, and that's about it.
So you're out in the middle of nowhere, basically.
We're out in the middle of nowhere. I used to have to hitchhike uptown or ride my bike or something.
And there was no sidewalk then?
No sidewalks, no.
Remember, we fought to get a sidewalk
Right.
after we had a series of very bad accidents.
Right, it was a quiet street back then. It's like a throughway now. So Indian Hill wasn't there, Stagecoach wasn't there.
You're right.
Wilson, Lee Road, that was all farmland. Wow. From the Kelly's Farm, which would be the first house on the right as you go up on Rocky Lane. Mm-hmm. And they owned basically both sides of South Street down that area.
Wow. Well, so you had no friends probably that close either?
None, no. Down by the, Wayne Lumler moved down there from Summer Street, and he became my best friend. George Lumler was a builder in Medfield. He built that development, some of it with Mr. Brown family with Duffy Doors on Pine Grove Road.
Okay.
Then the Brown family built most of those homes down in that area. But Wayne was a good friend of mine. He had a horse, and all I had was a bicycle, so he would win most races around.
I would think he probably would.
Right. And we're still good friends. He was an usher in my wedding.
Oh, that's great.
Him and Frankie Martino, he was another usher.
Oh, was he really? I know
Yeah,
Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie's
I went to Frankie's wedding.
Right. Frankie was in the Marines with me, and he was in Vietnam a year before me. So he was a good friend of mine.
Frankie married a good friend of my daughter.
Joan.
Yeah,
Yes.
Joan O'Day.
Right.
Yeah, Joan O'Day. Wow, good memories. What does the name Manganello mean?
Believe it or not, it means Billy Club in Italian. That's what my grandmother told me.
Like kaboom?
It's a boom. And I'm surrounded by police in my family.
Maybe your grandmother was right.
My brother was an FBI agent. He's retired now. My daughter-in-law, Shelley, is in the Medfield Police. Shelley Manganello.
I know her.
She was a Bento. Her father's, I believe, a Sherburne policeman. My son's a policeman in Walpole. He's on the motorcycle department. So my wife and I are my wife Lorraine, we've been married now, I'd say about 38 years.
Okay.
She's from East Boston, and I was from the North End. We met in the North End. She was a secretary in high school for an oil company I worked in there when I got out of high school. I worked there a few years before I landed at the Legion.
But you went to school mostly here in Medfield
I went to, yes.
What grades did you go in?
I started Medfield in the 7th grade.
At 7th
It was the
grade.
old Fort Apache. Right now it's the Pep Center.
The Fair Center
I
is right.
started there. I was there 7th and 8th grade. Before that, I went to St. Mary's School. It was parochial school in Boston. And that's how I ended up being the youngest kid in my class, the class of '64 at Medfield High School.
Oh, okay.
We always started early in there. So I was the baby in my class, and I guess my class clown too. So
I wonder what.
the teachers were glad to get rid of me a little bit.
Are you still a clown?
I hope not.
You might be a little bit.
I try to be.
You try. Well, you know what? It's fun to be a clown.
Yeah, you need a sense of humor,
You know,
especially working at the Legion.
I have quite a few friends that are still into their 90s, and every single one has said the whole secret is being able to laugh.
Right.
And I think they're probably right. You have to
right.
find something to cheer you up or something to laugh at every day.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we have a lot of laughs at the Legion.
So how did you get into the service then?
Right out of high school, I worked like for this oil company, and then I worked at the Colonial for a while for part-time
Really?
with Bob McCarthy. That's how I learned how to tend bar, the McCarthy family.
I was probably there
The
at some
Colonial,
point.
and then, yeah. And then the Army drafted me, actually. And I said I wasn't going to go in the Army, and I wanted the summer off of '66, so I said, the heck with it, I'm going to join the Marines. So I joined the Marines in '66, and then I was in the Marines in '66, '67, and '68, and I got out in '68. And 13 and a half months of that was in Vietnam.
Oh, you were there.
I was in Vietnam, 1st Marine Division. I was a radio operator in communications.
So you must have seen some horrible things.
I did, but I don't really talk about it.
No, I know for years, I don't know if you knew Charlie Sullivan, who used to live on Nebo Street. He was a World War II veteran.
Right.
And supposedly highly decorated. And he would never say anything.
Right.
And his wife Shirley said she thinks he probably saw too much.
Yeah. There were a lot of Medfield kids, probably a dozen of them, that joined a year after me, went after me. I guess it was about a year. And that's when Stephen Hinckley, of course, got killed in Peter Christoph.
Yeah.
Right there, right around '68.
Jeez.
So we lost 2 great kids. I knew them both personally,
I didn't
especially
know.
Stephen.
I didn't know either one. I knew the Hinckley and the Christophs, but I didn't know the
I
boys.
did know them both, yeah. It was a terrible shame.
Was it hard getting your balance back when you came back?
Yeah, they sent you to etiquette school in Okinawa on the way back.
Etiquette school?
Yeah, so you don't tell your mother to swear at your mother to pass the potatoes, and you know, they teach you language.
I don't know what an Italian mother would have done if you'd gotten nasty, but I know
It's-
what an Irish mother would have
It's
done.
called spakalagav. She'll give you a slap in the head.
What's it called?
Spakalagav.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Never heard that.
Yeah, she'll hit you in the side of the head. But,
Really, like this?
yeah, a little bit. She never hurt me though.
No, but
She always hurt herself. Yeah, sometimes I needed it. And that was about it.
So when you came back, then you started working for what, the oil company again, or what you start doing afterward?
I started with the oil company again, then I decided that was enough. I was driving oil tankers in the city, and it was getting to be a pain, the traffic, the commute, and driving all day. And then I met Lorraine, and like I said, I settled down in Medfield. I joined the Legion in '66. I've been a member there since 1966.
Wow.
And I became the steward there, the manager there. They had 6 stewards when they opened in 1971. So they had like a steward almost every year. Then
What's a steward?
It's a manager.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and he manages the building in the total operations of the Legion. And I've got great help, great volunteers over the years. Most of my best friends, they're all gone now. They were mostly Korean guys, and those are the guys that I was hired by World War II guys. They all would have been in the '90s now. Because I've been the manager there now 38 years.
Are there any World War II people still active in the Legion of Medfield?
They're not super active because most of them are around 90 years old now. We do a few. I believe John McGowan's our oldest member.
I know John.
John, I believe, is in the low 90s. He's our oldest member.
I know how old he is, but if I looked at him, one time when he was at the Legion, we were doing a cooking, I believe it was a Christmas lunch or something we were doing, and he
Right.
had trouble in the kitchen. He started getting dizzy. And when I called the EMTs and they asked how old he was, and I said, oh, about 70, and then I found out how old he was. I was very surprised. He's a dynamite man.
I remember old Dr. Stagg was one of the oldest members I knew. He was like 100.
He was another great man.
John Ross, if you remember him, old John Ross.
Yep.
These are all the guys that hired me. Mr. Nurse, Tommy Capaton.
Geez, I haven't heard the name Copperthorne in a long time.
Yeah,
Bill Nurse, I knew, of
Bill
course.
Nurse, yeah. Him and Eddie Callow actually built the building back then in the 70s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's when the Legion bought the land. That's when it was Grove Street. It was a straightaway right through from the old dump.
Okay, wait a minute. Where the Legion was part of Grove Street?
Right, it was Grove Street.
It was Grove
We
Street.
renamed it Peter Christoph Way,
Oh, okay.
Memorial Day of 1976.
I
Because
was
we
here.
dedicated that Vietnam Memorial. That's got a little story behind it, too.
Okay,
That stone out in the front.
what's that story?
We stole that stone. Donnie Mailing and I, we took an excavator and a low bed. We needed a memorial. Vietnam didn't have a memorial in town. So we took an excavator. They were building homes up in the woods, up in Indian Hill, up in that area by the Norfolk line. So we saw this perfect stone with a flat side to it. So Donnie said to me, this thing would be perfect for a Vietnam memorial on the Legion. So we built the lawn around the Legion, and there was no lawn out there. We had the memorial engraved to all those who served in Vietnam. We took it back with a bulldozer and excavator and laid it there.
Jeepers. Never knew that.
Yep.
And I was here then, but...
we dedicated that in the street, Peter Christoph Way. We named that after him.
Wow.
And of course, you had the Hinckley Pond. Stephen Hinckley has the memorial park and pond named after him, which is great.
It is great. The Hinkleys are a big part of Medfield,
They're
too.
a great family.
They really are. I know quite a few of them are still around.
Right.
Yeah, but I never knew that story about the stone. That's
Right,
fun. Next
yeah.
time I go, I'm going to have to stop and look
Yeah.
look at the stone.
Your old service officer, Jerry Doucette, we were talking when he was redoing the park, Baxter Field, they were not quite ready for a Vietnam memorial, but of course we did one last year up the high school, junior high, wherever it is now. Everything's flip-flopped around here since I've been here. And he told me we're going to list all the names in Baxter Park, so I helped him a little bit get that list. Jerry had a lot to do, put a lot of hours into that park.
He liked it.
Yeah.
He really did.
And then you have the service officer now, Ron Griffin, which is a great asset to this town. The man is fabulous. He's computer smart. He's a great help to me and the Legion. And I try to help him out with the veterans agent if I can. And years ago, about 30 years ago, I was asked that if I wanted that job. Paul Curran was the old veterans
I
agent,
remember him, too.
but it was probably before computers, because I'm not too smart with a computer. Everything was done with a pen and a pencil back then in a filing cabinet. And I remember Paul Curran, and then I believe they gave it to Jerry Doucette that year when I refused it.
It could have been. I'm trying to remember.
There might have been
the
one more in
logistics.
between. Lee DeSaga might have been involved there somewhere too.
I don't know if he was.
I don't think he was a veterans agent, but I think he helped a little
remember
bit.
him being one, but that
Lee,
doesn't
Lee
mean
spent a lot of hours at the VA hospital going back and forth. He was big on the bingo nights.
he really liked that.
Yeah, he used to go there with the bingo nights, and Lee was great too.
Jeez. Do you have any regrets about serving in the service?
None at all. No, I'm
Despite
glad
what
to-
you saw?
Well, I wouldn't go back there again. I was offered to be a sergeant if I went back for a second tour, but I'd rather be a life civilian. I refused it. It was time for me to get out of the service.
How would you feel about your sons or grandsons being in the service?
I'd be proud of them.
You would be proud.
I would be proud of them, yeah. But there is no draft now, and there's really not much going on right now.
Unfortunately, there's too much going on.
Yeah, but hopefully it's wrapping up.
Jeepers, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So when you grew up here in Medfield, who was your favorite teacher? Did you have a favorite?
Mr. Cuoco, I would say.
Oh, did you like John Kowalko?
I love John Cuoco.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. I used to call him Mr. I think Mr. Potter. You reminded me of him. And he reminded me of Bonnie Miller a little bit. But he was my math teacher, my algebra teacher.
He's a very nice man.
Nice man.
I always thought.
Yeah, I like
and my
Mr.
kids
Cuoco.
all like him.
I like Mr. Cuoco.
A lot of my kids had him too.
He was great, yeah.
And who was principal back then?
Charlie Maines.
It was Charlie. Okay.
Charlie Maines and Mr. Morris was the disciplinarian.
Jim Morris.
Jim Morris, yeah.
Yeah,
And of course there was
him.
Mr. Blake. They all knew me.
Yeah, I think he probably knew, they probably knew some of my sons too.
Right, right. No, the teachers are all great.
Oh, it's been a good school, really has been. And it's been a good town, I think.
Right.
Do you think, how impressed do you think people are by the seeing memorials and things? Do you think it makes them more inclined to be serving their country, or?
I hope so. I like to see some of the younger children join the service. It's a good experience, except for the war part of it. But it's a great experience to be in the military. I learned a lot just in boot camp. So
My husband was lucky because when he was drafted, he only got as far as Alabama, and they were putting together a football team
Right.
for the post, and he ended up playing football in Alabama. Instead of, he never had to go overseas. He was
Right.
he was a pre-med student at college, but he ended up giving injections and stuff for people going over there.
right.
But he never had to face it himself. He was very fortunate.
That's good. Yeah, most of the World War II guys were left. We're losing about 20 a year now down the Legion that are members. I read a lot of the names off on Veterans Day up the park,
Yeah.
doing the
do.
candlelight service, and you just don't have enough people coming back to replace them.
So how do we get more people in?
You need. Medfield doesn't have that many children, boys joining the service anymore.
Because
I
I wonder.
I don't know. Just the biggest thing is there's no draft anymore. Back when there was a draft, everybody went in, one way or the other. And now the years have changed to be eligible to join the Legion. I'm probably one of the youngest members, believe it or not, of the Legion, because then it goes down to the Vietnam personnel are all right around 60 or above, in the 60s. Your Korean fellas are all in the 70s and 80s,
Sure.
and your World War II guys are all right
90s.
around 90.
Sure.
So it's pretty well opened up.
There's no way to get other people.
We're not getting anybody from Iraq, and very few from Afghanistan.
Don't they qualify?
They qualify, but they're just not joining or going over there. There might be a handful. We've probably got a dozen.
That's kind of too bad.
20 years ago, we had probably 300 members at the Legion. Now we're around 185, probably right around there. And most of them, we're just losing them.
But I would think if you come back from the service, I would think the camaraderie there of having other people that have been through the same thing would be tremendously good.
Years ago, it was great to join a VFW or an AMVETS or a Legion, but now people just get on with their lives, and that's what they do. Most of these people today all have families, and they just move on.
Now, do you have sons yourself?
What?
Do you have any sons?
I have one son. I think I told you earlier. He's a Walpole policeman.
He's a Walpole policeman.
Right.
He never had any interest in.
I think he did, but he just at 21 he became a police officer at Medfield.
Okay, and that's it.
He went to the academy and he went to college, and that's it. From college, he went right into the police force.
Wow.
And my daughter Laurie, she just got married. I believe she's LPN, and she does takes care of children, something like a nanny type of thing. That's what about Lorraine does now too, part-time, and part-time she tends bar for me down the Legion.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always see Puck when I'm there.
Right,
No, it's a great spot to be in.
right.
But I know my husband was never really interested in joining, but I was a selectman, as you know, for 30 years. And at the annual installation, they'd always invite the selectmen and spouses, if they were interested, to come to
Right.
the installation. So I got Andy to come to quite a few of them. And finally, Carl Schwartz kept talking to him about it, join us. And it took a little bit of that and a little push from me.
Right.
And he joined it, I don't know, 5 years ago or more. And he loves it.
Good.
He's sorry he didn't do it sooner. And I bet there are other people out there that would like the chance.
Right. The Sons of the Legion, they formed probably 17 years ago. We now are the Sons of the Legion, which do a lot of work that are taken over for us older people.
So actually, our sons could join?
Not the regular Legion, but it's like an auxiliary Legion.
Okay, no, but I meant Sons of the Legion.
Yes, you can join. If your father's a veteran, you can join the Legion, or your grandfather. So if you have any boys, they can join the
I
Legion.
have 4 boys.
All 4 can join the Sons of the Legion.
I have 8 grandsons.
There you go. And they could join too, believe it or not.
And I just had our first great-grandchild
Right.
who lives in Georgia. His father was in the service.
I'm going to be a grandfather in March.
Oh,
My daughter's pregnant, so
congratulations.
thank you.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
yeah, we're excited. We don't know what it's going to be, so.
And frankly,
my wife doesn't want to know. She
I
likes.
don't think I'd want to know either.
Nah, she wants to keep everything a surprise, I guess. So that's good. Then the Women's Auxiliary, they're pretty active down in Legion. They do a girls' state. They just did the luminaries up at Veterans Day. Michelle Doucette does a great job with them in the Burr family and her mother. They're active, they're very active. It seems like they get a lot of younger girls joining now.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Now, are they
They do-
daughters of Legion members or just married to a Legionnaire?
Yeah,
or?
a combination of both.
Okay.
But they do well. They're going to cook all the desserts and make all the desserts for the senior citizen Christmas party,
Yeah, that I know.
which is coming up.
Yeah, because
they
I
changed
volunteer at that.
Right. And the Sons of the Legion, they have their fishing derby in April for all the kids. And they have a Christmas party they had about 100 kids last year.
Do they? I remember
For
this.
Santa Claus. Santa Claus comes with a fire truck. and they do Medfield Day.
Oh.
And they cook they do all the sausages, stands and everything. They donate about a couple of $1,000 in scholarships
That's great.
for the Medfield High School kids. And of course, they cook hamburgers and hot dogs for everybody Memorial Day. That's the Sons of the Legion do all that. So it's a few hundred people they cook for then, and it's great.
That Memorial Day parade is crazy afterward. I mean, you go in there, it's like
Right.
a mob scene.
Yeah,
It really is. But it's great to see people that interested in it, and it's wonderful as somebody who's marched in it for so long.
right,
To see all the people by the side of the road and clapping or just
right.
paying memorial to
It,
other
it
people that
means
have
it
served.
means a lot,
It does mean a lot,
especially
for
with the
some people.
scouts involved and the Lions Club, of course. And it's good community relations.
How old is the Legion itself? Did you say?
The Medfield Legion's going to be 95 years old.
Okay, and how about the Legion itself, the original Legion?
That was 1918.
1918.
Medfield had right after World War I. Medfield Legion was 1919.
Okay.
Okay, and Bill Kelly's father from Lodge, Bill Kelly from Lodge, his father was the first commander.
I did not know that.
Yeah, in 1919. He was William Kelly.
Well, Bill Kelly was one of my favorite people that ever lived in Medfield.
Great person. That's
He
another
really
great
was.
family. Yeah.
And Ray Lord, they did such a great job with that
Right.
store over the years.
Medfield didn't get their first charter because they didn't have a name until 1923. There was no name to the post.
Oh.
But then two brothers, during those few years, two brothers died in World War I, the Beckwith brothers, William and Wesley. One of them died of a kidney disease, and the other one drowned. He fell off a ship
Oh, jeepers.
near England. So both brothers were killed, and they got a charter, and
The Beckwith Post.
so now it's Post 110. It's
Any
been
of
that
the-
ever since then.
Any of their family still around?
Uh,
I wonder.
I don't believe so. There was another one, Harry Beckwith. There was a Priscilla Beckwith.
I remember Priscilla.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody
I
around here.
just thought of that when you
Not-
mentioned it. I'd forgotten about the name of the post.
Right.
Because I just call it the Legion rather than the Beckwith
Right.
Post.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So that's about it.
So the best part about being in the Legion is the camaraderie, probably, and the fact you're honoring the others that served as well.
Right. Yeah, we have guests that come in that which keep us in business because we're losing all our members and all our customers. Of course, it hurts the bar business, and that's what kind of helps us out.
I know the school buses are renting space in the back.
They've been a great asset to the Legion. Thank God we've
Yeah.
got the school buses. We have the mental health people. They closed the
That
they
actually
closed
was-
the hospital.
That was actually me that engineered by sheer coincidence. It was sheer luck.
I heard that they were looking for a place to go, and
And I happened to run
Tony
into Tony Cato. And I said to Tony, are they still looking for somebody to rent the space? And
Right.
I called the lady that runs it, and
Donna,
we
she's
went
been
there.
great, too.
We went there about 20 minutes later. Donna and I went in and signed it up.
It's been
But
great.
you never know what you'll say sometime that'll just work
Right.
for somebody else.
Right. And it's helped us tremendously
I bet it has.
financially.
But you rent out for
all about
weddings
this.
and parties and other things.
Right, exactly. Any kind of a banquet or a function, we'll rent them out.
How much do you charge?
The hall's between $250 and $350,
For
depending if there's a bartender or not.
for an evening or for a night or for a?
It's usually a span of 5-6 hours, and
That's not
and the
bad.
hours are flexible.
That's not bad.
So they could start at noontime, or they could start at 6 in the evening.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. And then
So-
the bartender is just, it's cash bar, so,
It's a cash bar. You could have an open bar, which we just ring up the drinks
oh, okay.
and give you the tip.
That should be quite a tab if you have a typical party.
People don't drink like they used to. They're not as bad as they used to be.
I think we're all more scared about driving. At least
Exactly.
I know I was.
Right.
Very scared about driving. Now I can't drive, my eyes are bad, I can't drive anymore, so I'm not worried about drinking and driving.
Right. You don't want to get stopped for drinking and driving.
No, I don't.
Not today.
Not
Years ago, they'd give you a ride home and take your keys.
Yeah, yeah,
that
and they
doesn't
probably
work.
would have.
Yeah.
And they should have.
Right.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So you have pretty good rentals over there, that's great to hear.
Right.
And so if you can get some new blood, that will help a lot
We
too.
need some young blood, some guys to pick up some of the action, like they say. Right now, the Sons of the Legion are carrying the load of our heavy bulwark.
Do you ever have an open house inviting younger people to come and see what's going on?
We do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
but not many attend. Yeah. Our biggest open house is almost Memorial Day. You know,
Yeah, because you
you know,
sure get
people
a
come
time.
around, they see around. And I've had many people say, "I never even been in this place before." You'd
And
be
here you are.
surprised. Yep.
I'm
They
surprised
just drive by it.
I'm surprised that people don't know what it is.
Right.
Yeah, you brought some handouts too. Is anything we can hold up and show the cameras?
Well, let's put my glasses on.
That helps. Glasses are a good thing.
This here just shows you the eligibility of the different dates, and this is what the Legion. I really don't have a lot of pictures.
Oh, okay.
This is a picture of the Legion out front. Okay. And qualifications, you had to serve in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, or of course now the Gulf War. And that's about it. We donate a lot. We donate to Fosse, needs for the dogs,
Yeah,
for the blind people.
that fascinates me.
Harry Mitchell used to be big on that.
Howie
Old
was
Harry,
loved it, loved
right.
it.
Then we donate to the Senior Christmas Party, American Legion Baseball, American Legion Softball, Medfield Youth Baseball, the Vietnam Movement Memorial we donate to, Battleship Cove, the Medfield Food Cupboard, Medfield Home Committee, the Dwight Derby House, and the VA Hospital Canteen Fund. Then we also have a state trooper program, which is for juniors in high school. They send them to a state trooper academy for a week, and they get pretty disciplined down there.
I never heard of that.
Right. A lot of people haven't. That's out in the Worcester, I think in New Braintree area.
And what year is it that kids are in?
Juniors in high school. They
Okay,
can come
got it.
down to Legion and apply if they want to go into law enforcement. We send them out there for
That's
a
a
week.
great idea.
Right. A lot of people don't know
And is
about
it done in the summer or during the school
in
year?
July.
Summer.
In July, yes.
That's a very great idea. How do you get the word out to the high school? Is the
I tell
information given
I
in
tell
school?
the guidance counselor every year. And once in a while I get calls for it.
I have a grandson who's a junior. I don't know if he knows anything about it.
Okay, well,
I'll tell him.
you, right. And that's basically what they do. And the auxiliary again. They do the flowers at the cemetery pond for all those veterans that got killed at sea. They throw the wreath in the water. The luminaries, they support the children of veterans who are hospitalized. It's mostly in West Roxbury and Jamaica Plain areas. And then the Sons again.
You know what always gets me at the parades is taps.
Right.
As far as I know, I don't
Right.
know anybody in my family that was ever killed in a war. I'm sure that back far enough there probably was, but
Right.
but there's something about the sound of taps.
It gets everybody.
It
Gives me the chills
I
sometimes.
got it. Me too.
Right.
And I don't know what it is,
And the national anthem gives me the chill once in a while.
but the taps just
Right.
as many times as I hear it, then the echo comes across the pond or across the field. I think, oh my Lord, it's very important. So I wonder how many servicemen, ex-servicemen there are in Medfield out of the residents, the 12,000 residents. Must be a pretty good number.
There's probably a couple of thousand.
at least, I would think.
Yeah. The only one that would probably know are them themselves if they don't go up and see Ron Griffin, the veterans agent. You have to turn in your discharge papers, your DD-214s. And we'll send you a letter from the Legion to try to get you to join.
No, I think I'd love to see other people join. I'm just
Right.
sorry my husband didn't join it sooner. I really am, and he's sorry too.
So if there are any veterans out there that want to join the Legion, come on down to see me or Ron Griffin up to town hall. We'd great to welcome you aboard.
That'd be great. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Al?
That's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah. It's been a pleasure talking to you again.
It's been great talking to you too, and thank you so much,
Okay.
my friend. And I wish you good luck at the Legion, and I hope you do get some more people there.
I hope so too.
But I don't wish for more wars to get more people
Right.
in the Legion, believe me.
Thank you, Ann. It's always
I
a
don't.
pleasure.
Hi, I'm Richard DeSaga, and you are watching Medfield.tv.